Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for May 6th through 9th, 2022. Well, we're in this strange time of adjustment in our world and our reality on our planet over the last few years. But right now, as we're in eclipse season, the time in between eclipses can be very strange. And it's good to remember that our whole reality is being rearranged. We're being rearranged. Our life is being rearranged. We're heading into Mercury retrograde. And so it's kind of, again, a time of recapitulation, of pulling back, of going within, of reimagining, as we realize that as much as we'd like to navigate forward in the ways we used to and know what we're doing and make a plan and execute that through steps, it's like, it just isn't working anymore. And we can tell that our reality is, if you're really paying attention, our reality is completely changing. That's a good thing. What's happening is that one by one, advanced souls, supernova souls, are waking up to where they have been giving their energy away on all levels. And it's like you could have thought that you totally, had dealt with your issues of predatory, parasitic feeding reality, but then you come upon a new layer of what's been hidden from you, often having to do right now with ancestral programming or past life, deep subconscious stuff. And then it's like, wait a minute, I've been allowing energies to access, outside energies to access my energy in this way. And this is getting revealed in a huge way. And it's, again, not very pretty to look at because we have to face where we haven't been honoring ourselves, where we haven't been living true. And here, maybe this is the core crux of the issue. We've been talking about the hidden shame with the South Node being activated in Scorpio, and the hidden shame that's keeping us from claiming our power and the world that we know is possible at this time. And so that energy is revealing these areas of where we've been breached in our energetic field and where we unknowingly have been feeding outside energies, which is basically feeding the matrix. So what's happening is that supernova souls and advanced souls are awakening. These things are being revealed. And so one by one, we're like unplugging, taking our energy back from the matrix, and so that feels really good to, on some level, right? To feel yourself unplugging from the drama and the constant psychological warfare and games and all that, but it's also weird because the reality we've been living, even though it's not supporting life, it's not anywhere near the world we know is possible, it's still the only reality we've known for a very long time. So as you unplug, it feels like it's inevitably you're going to go through a period of time where you feel lost and just disconnected and out of sync. And who are you? What are you doing here? What's the point? This is our ego death experience, and we're making room for the light of truth to come back into our life and our world. So really powerful because we're heading into the total lunar eclipse. That will be on the 15th, 16th of May, and so next weekend. And so this time in between eclipses and moving into the culmination energy of this eclipse season is definitely this total solar eclipse in Scorpio. It is profound, the energies. And the first Scorpio energy we really had this year as far as like amplifying the South Node energies. The South Node is, of course, the nodes are really triggered, the energy of what it means, the nodes of the moon during eclipse season, because eclipse season is when the nodes of the moon and the sun line up. And so there's an energy of lining up. It's an energy of a timeline alignment. It's an energy of readjustment. And then coming with, as we move into the energy of Mercury retrograde, we kind of have to step back, and allow this adjustment to continue to happen, knowing that perhaps we're not quite cooked, and we need to kind of, before we can leap forward and start creating in our new ways in our new world, still some internal cleaning house that's got to happen. and it's unavoidable. We've been feeling this super activated energy of the last couple of days with the Sun and Uranus. It's like, it's like kind of higher frequency vibrations that are. Uranus was discovered at the time of electricity, and so it's got that energy to it. It's like technology that's new and a different level of where we've been. That energy disrupts. And so Uranus energy disrupts old stuck patterns. In Taurus, I mean, it's earth shaking, the changes we're going through, and I don't think it's about, yes, we're feeling changes in our earth and our world, and, earth changes because she's awakening. She's leading on this ascension, our mother earth, goddess Gaia, right? So of course we're going to feel shifts and changes on that level, but the tectonic plates energy of massive tumultuous change is happening in our inner landscape, where we're recognizing through all this Pisces energy our connection to the whole, and then therefore our role in the whole. And with Mars and Pisces coming up to Neptune for this lunar eclipse, there's a massive bloom of this energy of just this desire for a life more true, to get through the lies, to see it through, to claim a life that's more fully lived instead of just constant distraction and bullshit from what really matters. How much of our time do we spend doing shit that is just not furthering us or humanity because we're just in this game, And so the energy of this total solar eclipse that we're moving into is really about unplugging our energy from the game. It takes it, you can't so there's an energy of disengagement, like on many levels, right? So pulling out from the matrix. There's also a massive reptilian healing happening if you want to receive it, or you can become more reptilian. It's either, you can go either way with this one, but a massive healing of reptilian programming on a DNA level that causes these types of breaches in our energetic field, like portals into our energy that we didn't even know were there, because we've invested and believed in this as who we are for lifetimes. So it's hard to find these things. And that's why this energy is so intense with the Scorpio activation, but also really what we need, because with the South Node and this full moon very close together, it's this massive activation of the Scorpio energy. So we've got Uranus leading up to this eclipse, this massive like Uranus sun. Now the sun is who do we think we are, and our identity. And so Uranus is awakening us to a higher frequency identity. In Taurus, it's about a transformational energy of physical form, values, and our earth, and relationship to physical form. So now Sun Uranus is so powerful, and we're going to feel that through this weekend and through the 8th, the energy of this. But then put together that the Sun and Uranus and this massively activating formation are in sextile to Mars in Pisces. And Mars in Pisces is this motor, this energy of movement and wanting to go, wanting to make stuff happen in alignment with these greater truths, claiming our destiny. Mars rules also the physical body. And so Sun Uranus awakening, and then Mars and Pisces, it's a good time for cleansing and claiming back your vibrational frequency through self-care and taking care, drinking lots of water. It's like a cleansing, a purge. That would be probably the best one-word term you could come up with for the energy of this Scorpio full moon. So this week leading up, though, we've got this massive activation of the Sun Uranus awakening us to who we really are. And now in Taurus, though, we're looking at our values and our self-worth. So a lot of what we're struggling and what we're finding in the darkness and we're finding in the shadows that's been hidden in the subconscious with the Scorpio energy, it has to do with whether or not we feel worthy of our gifts, of who we really are in our greater potential. Supernova souls have been so programmed with low self-worth, and it doesn't fit who you are at all. It's like a completely opposite, actually. You should be celebrating and honoring this gift that you have received from the work that you've done over many lifetimes and evolutions, and how hard and what you've gone through, and how you've never given up, and what a strong soul you are to be here on the earth at this time. What would it be like to live in full reverence for who you are as a spiritual being? And but it's difficult to do that when we've got this hidden shame and programming. And it's like, I've already dealt with that. It's like, oh God, this is just on a whole nother level. And intense. At the same time, so many beautiful transits helping us through. These sextiles are creative solutions. It's like a little of this, a little of that. We're going to just jimmy the lock a little bit and get on our way, And so Mars and Pisces says, let's get on our way. And then the energies in Taurus are like, yeah, but how can we do that if we can't receive who we are and our greater potential because we don't think we deserve it or we don't believe it? This is where we've been, so much of an agenda has gone on through lifetimes for supernova souls of like being detached from people who can reflect back to you, your community, your soul tribe, deliberately gaslit by the people around you to think that there isn't a spiritual world and you don't have a role to play on an energetic level, or you have any worth at all, or are even worthy of existing, right? And so now we have to completely turn that ship around. And maybe that's this Mars and Pisces. It's like trying to move through these delusions, And so very powerful as it comes up to Neptune, exact conjunction of Mars and Neptune, the 10 degrees of Pisces, for this total lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So powerful. And, we also have Jupiter at the 10 degrees of Pisces getting ready to shift over into Aries. We've got Venus in Aries now. And so that's a shift of energy. Powerful. Venus moving over to Aries, and then the Sun Uranus. It's like, causing a lot of, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of physical symptoms of cleansing and shifting and cellular regeneration and reprogramming. So now Jupiter is getting ready to move over to Aries on the 10th. And that's a massive shift. This is like a birthing of a new epoch, of a new era, of our golden age, a return of the Christ King as a body that we can incarnate. And so it's a reset of a timeline. And but know that this is going to take the rest of the year, because on the 10th of May, Jupiter moves over into Aries, and it's like exalted rebirth of this true king and this benevolent energy of the new world that's coming in hope, and a rebirth of our world and our timeline and our age. But then Jupiter takes a retrograde in July, and we'll head back into Pisces. And then, so second time over that Aries cusp, that 0 degrees Aries point of rebirth. And then we'll turn direct in October and come back over for the third time this point. So this is a beginning activation of like a 9-month experience. When Jupiter goes over to Aries for good, the third pass, December 21st, 2022, here coming, so very interesting energies. And maybe that's this timing, this rebirth energy is everywhere. And so we're getting a precursor of this with Venus having already moved over into Aries. Now, but for this total lunar eclipse, Venus is going to be coming up to Chiron. So we've got Mars Neptune, Mars Neptune in Pisces, exact. And when we've got Venus Chiron in Aries. And isn't that interesting? These very powerful conjunctions of energy right at that last sign of the zodiac and the first sign of the zodiac. And it's speaking to claiming that rebirth, right? So it comes back to our self-worth and the issues that are coming up with our deep subconscious, whatever's hidden that keeps us still feeling like we don't deserve, even though it's a deep, deep subconscious program, right? And so it's in these types of times, only in these types of times, that you can find that stuff. So don't be scared of the dark. Scorpio says you want to live and actually have full experience, then you got to face that shit, be in it, step into the fire, stop running from those shadows and the darkness, because what you're going to find if you go in and shine light on it is that there's a whole bunch of lies, and all of that programming just doesn't fit at all who you are as a soul. And it's exactly what they didn't want you to know, who you really are. And yet here we are in an awakening of this. So the Mars and Neptune for the lunar eclipse will be in a sextile relationship to the sun and the North Node. And so that's really powerful. Just bringing this huge lining up and activation of our spiritual service is in alignment with this higher timeline of the world we know that is possible. And we're getting weary of playing these bullshit games. It's like you are wasting this precious power of these advanced souls on this planet. Like, it's gone on for long enough, and enough is enough, and that's where it's like, because Aries has an energy of self-righteousness, like, F you, like, I'm taking what's mine. And it's a very powerful energy for us, because with Chiron there, it's about exactly the energy we're talking about of where we have individually given away our power and our energy, and then thinking that at some point they'll just give it back to us. It's like, no, it's not happening. We got to stand up and claim that shit and know we're worthy and know we can handle it. So much of the shame goes back to this programming from Atlantean time that says that awakening, higher consciousness, higher Kundalini awakening, energy, spiritual energy, ascension energy, higher frequency vibrations is destabilizing and dangerous. And your intuitive power is dangerous and going to cause destruction. It's not true. It's not true. So in our self-worth recapitulation, it's a lot about clearing any fear programming, which it's like we're having this massive activation energy, and it's like, oh, that's nice. That should feel good. I want that. I want movement. I want something to happen, right? But then when it happens, it's like, oh my God, what's going on? And I don't feel good, and what's happening? So it's like, but those activating energies are exactly, so it's like we don't have a choice than to examine these places of hidden darkness that are keeping us from receiving the great wealth that we are and the new world that's coming. And so that's the energy of Jupiter moving over into Aries on the 10th, early next week, on Tuesday next week. That will be a big shift. And it's powerful that Jupiter is in a sextile relationship with Pluto. They're at the end degrees of Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. So we've got all of these sextiles of helpful, creative solutions. And so Jupiter, rebirth of the king, getting ready to have a new birth, a new epic, a new era, a new part, section of time, and a whole new age and reality. Pretty powerful that Jupiter is in a sextile relationship to Pluto just before that transition. And during that transition, we'll feel Jupiter in sextile to Pluto through the third week of May. And it's like so much else is going on astrologically, but this is major, major, major energy, major big players. This is big backdrop changes that are helpful, supportive, and creative. And so Jupiter at the end degrees of Capricorn, Pluto at the end degrees of Capricorn has gone as far as going to go. Pluto has now turned retrograde, but still at 28 degrees, as far as it's going to make it into Capricorn this year. And so it's the limit on the limit that still remains, even after all the work we've done. Exactly what we've been talking about. The limit that still remains on your being able to fully own, and not just own, but love and appreciate and honor and fully execute your power and your potential. It's a lot. We've been so far away from this, we don't even know what it is, you know? So how are we going to embody it and give ourselves permission and trust it and feel comfortable? It's a massive process. So that's probably, the main energy of the Mercury retrograde. Mercury turning retrograde also on the 10th. So Jupiter moving over to Aries, Mercury turning direct. So it's saying, hey, to birth this new world and this new epic, we need to readjust and change our perspective around our worth and permission to express our truth, because that Mercury is now in Gemini and only makes it to 4 degrees before turning retrograde. So it's a weird time. We're in between eclipses. We got Jupiter about to make a big leap over the moon into new possibilities. And then Mercury going, hold on, we got some shit to deal with here, because, we got to figure out how can we build this new world and be an active participant if we can't receive, feel worthy, and know we can handle our power. So it's all getting worked out, and incredibly supportive energies for this powerful energies of empowerment this weekend with the moon in Leo, bringing some more fire. That will be, amplifying the energy of Venus in Aries and Jupiter about to move over into Aries, and trining up with those energies, bring more harmony. And so it's like, it's intense and it's big changes and it's big shift and it's unknown. It's still confusing with all this Pisces energy, but it's inevitable and you can't avoid it. Right? So maybe that can help with this feeling of everything dissolving. But doesn't it have to? I mean, if we're really moving into a whole new world in reality, I mean, we don't want to take that shit with us, So here's our time. The spotlight is on that shit, and it probably won't make sense till after we get out of retrograde and eclipse season. So the final eclipse is going to be a partial solar eclipse on the 30th of May. And Mercury will be turning direct the first week of June. So that's kind of our timeline. And then Mercury doesn't come out of retrograde shadow for a little while. And so we've got a month or so, 5 weeks still of this energy to sort out and figure out what in the heck this is all about. But don't miss this opportunity. Don't run from the darkness, stand in it and be the light and the truth that you are. We're encountering the deepest hidden places of our psyche where it requires soul strength. And what you're doing is you're pulling back your full soul. These challenging moments that we're having on energetic, esoteric levels right now is you having an opportunity to claim back your soul, the parts and pieces of you that have been broken and fractured and all that you've gone through. And it's like we're being asked to stand in our essence and our power, contain it, and say, it is mine. And this energy will only be used in alignment with what's right and good and true. This energy will only be used by me. Source intended you to own and contain that energy. So, what's happening is giving us an opportunity to really own that and find this deep and profound soul spiritual strength that lies within us and how we made it this far. I mean, the hardest part's over. It's not going to be pretty, but keep breathing, keep loving, keep knowing that this is a spiritual evolution. It's not about the garbage bullshit play that's happening, Can you, if you're going to go there, find entertainment in it and pull yourself back to that inner reality of what's more real and true, so you don't miss this opportunity to excavate deep into the catacombs of our psyche in order to uncover those beautiful treasures and gifts that you didn't know you had and that are so beautiful and so worth so much. Right? The true wealth of this world. We know this. We're coming to know this. And it will be shown more and more to us. The true wealth of this world. We're having a massive revaluation with Uranus in the North Node in Taurus of what wealth is. And it's not paper money. Shit is not going to, get you what you need in the end and when it really matters. And it's our soul wealth, Here we are in this one lifetime. We've lived many, many lifetimes and experiences. We're so big and we're so eternal. Don't let this world crush you and gaslight you into playing so small the way we have been, And let those energies arise that can take you into the catacombs to reclaim this power, this truth, this light. So thank you so much, Supernova Souls, for going through what we've gone through, and you're deep and profound. Existing right now as a supernova soul on this earth is like you have, it's just a total validation of the path that you've taken to get here. And it hasn't been easy, but we made it. And so don't forget, keep your eye there on the horizon as Jupiter carries us over into a new reality. And perhaps while this retrograde happens over the next 6-8 months with Jupiter, it's kind of like, do we deserve it? What is it? Can I see it? Can I not see it? Is it real? Do we get to have it? How good can it be? How good can we allow this life in this world to be? As we detach from the lower play and pull and unplug, take our energy back from the matrix one by one. It's so beautiful what's happening, and tap into that on other levels. So powerful energies. And so I hope you'll consider joining the Scorpio full total lunar eclipse soul group session. This is a group intuitive session where we look at shared past life pictures, really profound and powerful. And we got a great start on that with the solar eclipse soul group session. So if you want to go back and catch that one, that will give you a great foundation for this total lunar eclipse soul group session. And there's a coupon code in the chat box of the solar eclipse session, so you can get 50% off, so you can be with us through this whole journey and really experience these energies together. It's so powerful and profound, the supernova field that we've created. And so thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you for that soul group session or on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.